Hello, everyone. I think we're live. Week day 3, support at Milpark. If you're here for that, you're in the right place. While we kind of wait for people to join in, you might want to just check that you can hear me and see me. If you can do that, then you're on the right track. Already started with a strong footing. And I think our organizers have told us that they've been overwhelmed by all the messages and stuff in the chat. So we're going to keep that trend going. And while you're getting set up, I'm going to ask you to let us know in the chat where you're joining from. So, and if you're a new student or a returning student or an aspiring student, we want to know that too. It's always good to see who's in these sessions, kind of get a sense of what kind of questions you guys might have, what sort of help you might need. So I'm going to be putting some instructions in the chat on how to let us know where you're joining from and what kind of student you are. Because I'm sure we've got a few brand new students to Milpark, some returning students, maybe even some aspiring students. So let us know which of those you fit into. And yeah, it'll help us give us a sense of who's out there in the world listening today. And another thing that can help us let us know who's out there is if you guys turn on your videos. Our organizers told us that we all needed to look pretty, but I made a deliberate attempt to be as scruffy as possible so that no one feels intimidated about turning on their camera. At least you know you'll look better than me. If you can turn on your camera, it kind of helps you, interestingly. So there was this research done a few years ago around the time of COVID, where they looked at the academic outcomes and kind of engagement levels and outcome levels from students who engaged in these kinds of sessions with their cameras on versus students who didn't. And for some reason, knowing that people can see you makes you pay more attention. So if you're wanting to get the most out of the session today, if you're wanting to get return on investment, then my suggestion is turn your camera on. It'll help you as much as it helps us to kind of see who's out there. So thanks for that. And then we're a couple minutes after 1, so we're going to slowly kind of start the formalities. This is the 3rd session in our O-Week sessions. Many of you have hopefully already had the opportunity to join the sessions that were held on Monday or Tuesday. If you missed those, on Monday you missed an opportunity to meet our exco, which I think was hopefully a really valuable session. So if you weren't able to join that session, then check out our YouTube page and our socials to find the recordings of that session. Yesterday, we also had a great session on your Milpark survival guide, kind of orienting you to the different systems and tools that you can access as a student. So there's probably some useful stuff in there, particularly if you're brand new to Milpark. You can also find recordings of that on our YouTube page and on our socials. Today, we're going to be talking specifically about support, the support options. We're going to be talking a little bit about psychosocial supports and your mental health. The importance of that on your student journey, as well as looking at the work that our Student Engagement Hub does to support you and how you can access that support via the help desk. So I'm hoping that's going to be really useful. If you do have questions around things like assessments, tests, and exams, then you're in luck. There's a session coming up tomorrow in the same time slot specifically on tests and exams. So make sure you register for that session. Even if you can't join it, if you've registered for any of these sessions, you will automatically get an email after the session with a link to the recording. I feel like that's the same as back when I was studying. The question that was always asked in class was like, can I get a copy of the slides? Now it's like, can I get a copy of the recording? So you'll get that in your email inbox if you register for any of these sessions. And then Friday, to close out the week, is our last session of the O-Week, and it's an opportunity to meet our schools. So it's helpful, particularly for those of you who still like wanting to get admitted and start a new program. finding out a little bit more about the schools and the programs we offer and who the staff are that lead those schools. That happens on Friday, so stay tuned for that session. Okay. I'm sure the chats and questions are going crazy. There are some people on hand to respond to those, and I'm sure they're doing their best to keep up. Remember that our support channels are probably the best place to go if you've got any like legitimate kind of urgent things that you need resolving. So if your questions are more about your particular registration process or accessing your course or something like that, then using our formal support channels, specifically the help desk, is going to be the best way to go. If you've got general questions around the stuff we're discussing today, then pop them in the chat and I'm sure our team will be able to give you a helpful answer. Okay, so who am I that's been talking for the last 5 minutes? Let me quickly give you a sense of why I'm in today's session. So I'm the head of student experience at Milpark, which was a role that didn't exist too long ago. I guess as human beings, we've been learning in environments like classrooms for hundreds of years, classrooms and lectures. That's kind of something we've gotten pretty good at. But in terms of learning in spaces like this, online environments, it's only really been for a fraction of that time that we've been doing it. And so we've needed to figure out how to do that well and how to learn and how to keep getting better at it. And so that's partly what I'm responsible for. Figuring out how we can specifically support you guys to learn better in this kind of environment. At the moment, a lot of my focus is on how do we make sure that you've got the right support when you need it so that you can focus on the important stuff like learning, kind of grappling with the skills and knowledge that you're being exposed to in your programs. Yeah, and we really appreciate your guys' role in our learning there. So if you see any emails asking you for feedback on your support experience or your modules, that's normally something that I'm spending hours combing through to figure out, like, how can we get better? How can we do things differently that can help you guys to get a better experience as a student and to come out the other side stronger with whatever your goals are studying at Milpark. So that's why I'm involved in today's session. And I'm kind of like your host. So I will be introducing the rest of the panel and guiding you through today's topics. And we're going to be starting with Terry Lee, our Senior Student Success and Wellness Advisor, who's going to talk a little bit about what it might feel like to be a new student at Milpark starting on a new program. She's got some insights into what it might like to be in your shoes. So we're going to chat a bit about that this afternoon, and then we're going to bring in Kirsty. I'm really excited about what Kirsty's going to share with you guys. She's going to be taking you through a tool that you've got access to as Milpark students called October Health, which can be really valuable in setting you up for success as a student. And then we'll switch focus to Michle. I think she was described earlier as the chief lion tamer and student whisperer. She's on the front lines supporting students and corporates. And so she knows like all the ins and outs of how to get help when you're a student struggling with something. So she's going to be taking us through that today. And Tamlin is a senior person in our Student Engagement Hub. I've actually forgotten what her specific title is, Operations Manager. So she heads up the Student Engagement Hub, and she's going to talk a little bit about who's in that team and what you can expect from them when you need supports on anything that they can help with. Okay, that was a mouthful. I'm going to take a breather and hand over to Terry. Terry, yeah, take it away.
Hi, everyone. We are so happy to have you join us this afternoon. Thank you so much, Mike, for those intros and for setting the scene for us. To start, I want to chat about how you, as a Milpark online student, might want to think about how you approach your learning journey. What we know and what we know about online learning, right? We know that studying online can be incredibly rewarding, but what we also know is that it can feel isolating and overwhelming at times. And often without constant face to face reassurance, it's common to start questioning yourself, your abilities, your progress, and whether you're on the right track or in the right space. Many of the students I engage with experience this quiet, nagging anxiousness, wondering sometimes Am I doing enough? Am I capable of succeeding on my program? And I want you to know that these feelings, which some of you might be experiencing, is a normal part of starting something new. They don't mean that you are failing at this or that you're falling behind or that you are not ready to do this program that you registered for. What these feelings are is part of adapting to this new online learning journey. We often we find that uncertainty can feel a lot louder and support can sometimes feel less visible even when it is right there. So we understand that online learning can also be a bit daunting to some of us, especially when you are a new student at in this kind of platform or this environment. Sometimes platforms can feel complex. Expectations might not be as clear to us sometimes. And it can also feel like you are navigating everything on your own. I mean, you are sitting behind your computer at your desk by yourself sometimes, right? And I think that's why our approach to student support is really truly rooted in seeing you as a whole person, not just a student completing your assessments or your academics, but a human being that is, managing stress, self doubt, and other external responsibilities while you are studying with us. So, that being said, I think to speak about this upfront, it would be important to think about some of the responsibilities outside of Milpark and those you might want to speak to regarding this journey you are embarking on. What we know is that not everyone might understand, this learning journey that you set out for yourself and the goals that you want to achieve in this space. But it is important to let your support system know that you cannot do the same things you used to do, as you have this other priority at play. So upfront, I would encourage you, if you haven't already, to think about who you need to speak to about your priorities and what you are embarking on at Milpark, so that when things might get tough, you have your support system to lean on as well. So speaking up early, to your boss, to your kids. I know those conversations can be a bit more tough with them, especially with young kids, but speak up, let them know what you're about to embark on and that your time might be a bit limited. I think one thing we believe in deeply is also empowering students to take ownership of their learning journey right from the start. And what's important to note is that taking ownership doesn't mean doing everything on your own, right? That's definitely not what we want you to do, especially in this space. What taking ownership means is to be intentional and self-aware and proactive about what you need in order to succeed on this learning journey. One thing that can assist with that is knowing why you started. So I always like to encourage students to think about your why for being here. Like, what is the reason for embarking on this journey in the first place, right? Why did you decide to do this program or this degree? And why did you choose this route to do so? It's important to note this down somewhere for yourself. Write it down in a book or somewhere where you can see it often, because it will
Stick it
be
on your wall,
important.
right?
Yeah, stick it on your wall. Put it as your desktop, what do you call it? Photo,
Background, yeah. Yeah.
background, yeah. Really kind of solidify why you want to be, why you are doing what you are doing, especially for when things might be challenging. Studying is not always easy. It's you will come across some sort of challenge potentially along the way, and that's okay. But if you are clear on your purpose for being here, you know why you started, it can often give you that motivation, and that drive for why you need to persevere and just see this through. um, so that's one important tip. Another tip I have is, for just taking ownership and really embracing or deciding what you want to do on this journey is to implement some regular reflection. So as a team or as staff members in the team that I'm part of, we often do a lot of reflection, like daily, weekly, as a team. And I think scheduling a 15-minute self check-in with yourself is really important, either daily or on a weekly basis. Asking yourself what's working, what's confusing, and also thinking about where you might need to be supported. This task will help you just recognize that sometimes struggling is normal part of learning, right? Sometimes in that struggles, we might also require some help.
Terry,
So
is that something that I can do while
yeah,
I'm like washing the dishes or like traveling to work? Like, I'm wondering
literally,
where I'm going to find that 15 minutes, or like, can I do it at any point?
Mike, at any time of the day, you
Okay.
make sure that you spend a 15 minutes with yourself. Do a bit of a body check as well, like sense check. Am I feeling anxious today? What's my mindset like today? What is something that is commonly showing up for me today or this week? Recognizing that upfront can really help with knowing how you're going to tackle the rest of your day or how you're going to show up for your studies. I think another important thing on that note, in terms of, just struggling on your own, is that it's important to also know how long you want to struggle on your own before you decide to reach out for support, right? um, when you seek knowledge on our various platforms and you struggle for a short while, sometimes it's okay to help you build resilience in this online learning environment. Struggle is sometimes a good thing for us. But I think in this space, especially, struggling in silence for too long can be detrimental to how you show up for your studies. So that is also something in that 15-minute check-in. And why that's important is because you can identify, when you need to reach out, and why it's important um, to seek help where needed. So basically, noting down your why and establishing these regular self-check-ins can really help you, just take ownership of your learning journey. And these are just like two little tips that you might want to implement upfront. Some things you want to think about upfront as you continue on your study journey.
Yeah, and I
I
guess
just,
it's
yeah.
probably like I'm thinking that doing that now, but kind of building those good habits is probably um, really important, not because of necessarily the short-term payoff, but because it means
Mm,
like you're equipped with those habits when it gets to crunch time. So, like when you start to feel the pressure of exams and assessments,
exactly.
you've got some like some self
Mm,
um, self-help kind of resources that you can lean on that are making sure you don't run into
mm.
challenges that you could have avoided.
No, exactly that, Mike. And I think self-awareness plays a big role in that. And that's why knowing that upfront, noting down where you are headed is so important to start. Um, Another quick thing I wanted to touch on is, or I think is worth just reiterating, is that I think our program staff, our lecturers, our support teams really want to see you guys succeed, right? And you shouldn't view them as separate from your learning journey. You should view them as a vital part or element to help you succeed on your learning journey. Um, what I want you to remember or keep in mind is that you obviously entrusted us with your studies, and we genuinely want to help you. We are passionate about you succeeding. Um, what I also want to mention is that we can only do so if you let us know what you need. And that's why that reflection is so vital, reflecting on when you need support and the type of support you might need. So reaching out to us at the right time is also really important. Um, Mike, I just also wanted to touch on, stress and anxiety in the online space. Um, I think we find that stress and anxiety sometimes shows up a bit more like quietly in the online learning environment. Students might experience, procrastination, constant worry, exhaustion, or feeling that, you're not quite doing enough. And as I mentioned, they are not often in this space a lot of moments that provide you with reassurance, right?
Mm,
Um,
mm,
so as an online student, it is really important to become aware of how stress and anxiety might show up for you and to try to catch it early. And as I mentioned, self awareness is going to be key here, recognizing when you are struggling, and doing those regular check ins can help with that, doing those body checks and emotional checks for yourself. It will allow you to notice when anxiety or stress might also be building up. You could do things like journaling, where you ask probing questions, asking yourself, how you felt about the week or how you are coping after this test. It would be really important. But It will help you to make intentional decisions about the support you need before things, as Mike, you mentioned, becomes unmanageable. Yeah, so I think a lot of the support that we have a lot of support options obviously available to you. And I want you to keep an open mind when you engage with some of these resources. I think each program should have their own additional well-being resources available to you. So it would be important to find out what that might be for your specific program that you're part of. What I want to say in terms of just what you should keep in mind is you don't have to figure everything out on your own. You don't also always have to show up confident all the time. That's not really the expectation, right? I think what matters is showing up as your true self, staying self-aware, reaching out when needed, and trusting that support is here for you. As I said, we all truly want you to succeed, and not just academically, but sustainably in this space. So it's not just about showing up for your studies. It's also about how you show up mentally and emotionally to tackle this learning journey that you're embarking on. And this is where I think we have really thought about how you show up. We really do care and want to invest in you. And that's why we've introduced this mental fitness application to support you in staying mentally and emotionally fit while you are tackling your studies. So I'm going to, Mike, if that's okay with you, hand
Yeah,
over
great.
to Kirsty, who will speak about October Health and speak a little bit more about this amazing platform as another a layer for support for you guys during your studies.
Awesome.
Thank you, Terry Lee. It's great to be with everyone here today. You will see that I have popped some of the sign-up instructions into the chat, but they will also be on the screen a little bit later. But first, I'm just going to tell you a little bit about how October Health can support your journey at Milpark. I think Milpark is doing a fantastic job of making sure that you guys get the support you need. And our mission at October Health is making sure that you have all the bits in terms of holistic wellness to support you. So what is October Health? We're here to support you to help you thrive, succeed, study, and stay well. And really, we have tried to build your ultimate companion. So everything that you need to act like a pro and feel like a pro. So the app is both mobile and desktop. We have live sessions available on the app. We've got sleep, focus, and meditation support. We have over 40 coaching modules that covers everything from time management to imposter syndrome to becoming highly productive. We have physical fitness and nutrition on the app. So we actually have an AI dietitian, which I'll also show you a little bit about in a few minutes. We have assessments available on the app. So there are assessments around, if you're using too much social media or if you're depressed or burnt out, you can actually take an assessment and understand a little bit more about how you're doing. We've got a host of articles and audiobooks available, as well as podcasts. And then you actually also get access for your dependents, which is a really, really nice perk that you can use. But why did we build October Health? And I think this is something that I always like to say, you wouldn't really run a marathon without training. And yet we enter these busy modern lives, whether we are juggling studying and work. And I read a stat recently from Microsoft, which is very scary because they've got all of our Teams and Outlook data, that people are getting interrupted about every 2 minutes. And that's not even taking into consideration, WhatsApp and all the other kinds of tools we use. So we really wanted to build the personal gym for both your mind and body and really support your mental fitness. And there are a host of different things available on the app, everything from Luna, who is our AI companion. I'll talk a little bit more about Luna. The sessions and podcasts I mentioned. Within the mindfulness space, you can find meditation, breathing exercises, etc. We have productivity and coaching in the app. We have health and fitness. And then we also have the assessments that sit in track and measure. And then there's also a Milpark hub where bespoke Milpark content sits. And then if you reach out to the emergency line, you will get supported through a counselor. So really everything from whether you are just surviving or thriving, there is something for you on the platform. So I wanted to chat a little bit about Luna, our AI companion. So Luna has been trained and designed on coaching science. one of our co-founders is a clinical psychologist, and he has been part of training Luna. So Luna is a little bit different to ChatGPT in that she doesn't train on your information. So she's a safe space and a confidential space to ask for support and help. And Luna's really been trained on performance psychology. So Terry mentioned, remembering why you signed up for this. I urge all of you guys to download the app and go and have a chat with Luna and say, Luna, I signed up to this course for this reason, and this is what I want to achieve, and this is my goals. And Luna will coach and hold you accountable to that. You still have to do the work, but she's there in your corner and coaching you. So we actually had an amazing story from one of our clients where he said that he told Luna his goal was to get promoted, and he got promoted within 6 months because he used Luna as a coach. But Luna is also there for a number of other things, and I'll go through a little bit of that. So, I think managing studying, and if you have a workload, it can be really overwhelming. So you could literally just say to Luna, I'm feeling overwhelmed by how much I have to study. Can you help me break this into a manageable plan? Or I don't know where to start with my coursework. Can you help me prioritize what to do first? I'm behind on my studies and stressed. Can you help me catch up without burning out? So these are all things that Luna can support you in and coach you on. A few other topics around procrastination and focus. So I'm a big procrastinator, so I feel this one with you guys. I need the pressure to work hard, but you can say to Luna, I usually work better under pressure, but I don't want to put myself under that pressure in this course. How do I, put specific kind of measures in place to make sure that I reach my goals? I am seeing some messages. I will give you the sign up details as we go, but you have to sign up with your Milpark email address. That is the most important part. Otherwise, you will not see all the exciting things like Luna and IB, etc. For dealing with mental fatigue and burnout. So you can say, Luna, I've just got so much on my mind and I'm struggling to kind of manage it. Can you help me, figure out a plan to support myself better? And then stress and performance anxiety. So I think this is something that many of us struggle with. But Luna is also great for, having tough conversations. If you are juggling both work and studies, having the conversation with your managers at work to say, I am juggling these things and I'm trying to grow as an individual. So I need a little bit of kind of space and boundaries as well. So Luna is there to support you in all things, both personal and studies related. We have sessions and podcasts available on the app. So we've got 18 hours of live sessions run by experts in the app. And they really cover everything from performance psychology, mental health, loss and grief, parenting, financial wellness. There's mindfulness in the app. And our best sessions get recorded. So you can always go and access the podcast versions. And we've got really incredible speakers who've come on. We've had speakers who've trained Olympians and spoke all about the power of performance psychology. We've got a very special session called The Edge, and we're getting a Paralympian in to speak about resilience. So there's really a host of incredible speakers available on the app. Don't worry if you miss a session. Our best sessions are recorded, not every single one, but the best sessions are recorded. But definitely go and explore the sessions. You can also ask hosts questions in the sessions, which is very nice. I spoke a bit about mindfulness. So in the mindfulness tab, there is journaling. So again, quite a nice space to go and to say, I'm signing up, I'm starting my Milpark journey today. This is what I want to achieve. This is how I'm feeling. And again, this is completely private and confidential to you. There are also guided breathing exercises available on the app. So I think if everyone's following the trends, breathing is a huge kind of performance enhancer. And if you are nervous for a big presentation or you're just needing to calm down because you're feeling overwhelmed, you can tap into the guided breathing exercises. We have articles and audiobooks on mindfulness, so covering everything from family, life, and mental well-being. And then there's also meditation sounds available for you. So some nice relaxing sounds to help you recharge and relax. Then on the productivity side, probably one of my favorite tabs on the app, you have access to AI coaching through Ash. I'll talk a little bit more about that now. And then we also have articles and audiobooks on productivity. And then we have focus sounds. And my top tip here for you is if you're using the Pomodoro study method, and if you aren't, check it out. but all our focus sounds are 30 minutes for this exact reason. So if you put on one of our focus sounds, you'll know that in 30 minutes you need to take a 5-minute break, and the song will stop, and you can hop on to taking a quick breather and then going on to the next one. So you can go explore all the focus sounds here. Just a note on our coaching courses. So we cover a host of coaching courses, both kind of professional and upskilling as well as personal. And this really covers everything from how to become highly productive, which you probably all need some support in, improving your time management, goal setting, using generative AI, overcoming imposter syndrome. And then on the personal side of things, we also have, being a better parent, building healthy habits, building resilience. And there's over 40. So I've just put a few of them here. These are really cool. They have 5 minutes in the app a day, and they're personalized to you. So if I was doing the Becoming Highly Productive coaching course, the first day would have a set theme, and I would try and unpack, what it is within that theme that's holding me back from being more productive. So definitely go and check out these coaching courses. It's not a lot of work, but it's helping you incrementally every day improve. Then we also have health and fitness available on the app. So probably one of the best features is Ivy, our AI dietitian. And you can literally upload a photo of a plate of food to Ivy, and Ivy can tell you, the breakdown of calories, nutrition, etc. You can improve your fitness with workout videos. We've got articles and audiobooks on health and fitness again. And then we also have sleep sounds, which is probably everyone's favorite feature on the app. I'm saying lots of favorite features, but the sleep sounds is definitely a very popular one. And if any of you are trying to parent at the same time as doing this, I've heard rave reviews about using it for kids as well. So I'm definitely a fan of all the sounds that we have on the app.
So I guess
a little bit more.
The main thing is,
yes,
Kirsty, not to get your sleep sounds and your focus sounds mixed up. You don't want to be like studying and falling asleep. So pick the right sound.
We'll try keep them. Go to the productivity tab for your focus sounds. Cool. And then Ivy, the AI dietitian, sits in the health and fitness space, and you can do everything from meal tracking. You can ask for recipes. What I've done before is say, these are 4 items I have left in my fridge at the end of the week. Please come up with a recipe for me. And Ivy can come up with a recipe. If you go out to a restaurant, you can ask her for a healthy option. And this isn't just about losing weight. This is about supporting your performance with nutrition. So when we built October Health, it was all about supporting individuals to perform better and supporting them on their mental health journey. I think what we found is often when we are stressed, the first thing we do is start eating badly, and that impacts how we are able to perform. So a few things you can ask Ivy: can you help me plan quick, healthy dinners? You can literally ask Ivy for a meal plan for the entire week. What's a good snack before a workout? Any tips for eating well when I'm stressed? How do I eat healthy on a budget? What's a balanced lunch I can make in 10 minutes? How can I curb sugar cravings? So, I mean, I'm just skimming the surface with what Ivy can do, but really is there to support you in your holistic wellness and making sure that you are eating well. And then, like most things, all good habits should be rewarded. So in the app, as you do more and more in the app, you earn gems, and with gems, you can go and redeem rewards at our various rewards partners. You can see we've got everyone from the Ivy Bar to Prime Self, which have got amazing supplements. We've got Berry, Net Florist, etc. We just passed Valentine's Day, unfortunately, but the Net Florist one is great. So definitely go have a look at the reward shop. And it really is micro things to support you in the app. I see there's lots of chat about Luna and Ivy. And then I think something really important to know is that everything you do on the app is completely confidential and anonymous. Our philosophy at October Health is about supporting you to confidential care. And I think a key thing to know is anything you say to Luna, even if you are really upset with your partner or someone at work and you say, this person's driving me crazy, Luna does never ever store personally identifiable information. So it's a completely safe space for you to use the app. And Milpark has made sure that you and your dependents get access to this, and it is an incredible benefit. So I really do encourage you all to sign up. And with that, here are the sign up details. So you can either download the October Health app off your app store, or you can go to desktop.october.health in your web browser. I'm going to post the details in the chat again, just for ease. A key thing to remember is please sign up with your Milpark email address. If you sign up with your personal email address, you're going to go into a version that has none of the cool things like Ivy, etc. So really, really important to sign up with your Milpark email address. I'll keep this up for a few seconds. I'm just trying to see if there are any questions. Your son's 18 years.
Yeah. I was going to cue
yeah,
you
I'm
to
just
that one. It's
catching
Brian's
some.
question about the 18-year-old son. Yeah.
Yes. So if you have children and you'd like to add them, as long as they're over the age of 16, they can use the app. So you can add them, and all you do is add their email address in the dependents section. So super amazing for them as well. I'm sure your son's probably heading into matric and dealing with studies, etc. I will try see if there are any more questions, and I'll answer them as we go.
Awesome. Thanks, Kirsty. Really appreciate it. Guys, we've got a lot to cover in today's session. So while I'm sure everyone's super excited about the possibilities and opportunities that October Health brings, I think the first point of call is try and ensure that you get registered on the app and kind of explore it at your leisure. See which things work there. Obviously, you don't need to use everything. That'll probably be a bit overwhelming. You can see there's a myriad of features and functionality that's available there. So, but there's probably one or two things that really plug into your life. So finding what those things are and using them is a great start. And now we're going to kind of turn to, I think, some support mechanisms that a lot of you are really interested in. And I'm going to hand over to our student whisperer, Michlet, who's going to take us through the support options that you guys can access. And these are probably going to be really important resources for you in terms of answering some of the questions that are front of mind for you about your own journey, access to your courses, registration, etc. So Michlet, over to you.
Hi everyone, I am Mihle. I will be talking to you about the Student Engagement Hub. Welcome to today's session. So we all know in your academic journey, it's a lot more than just attending lectures and doing your assignments and writing your exams. It's about feeling supported, heard, and confident that while you're doing all of that, the admin side of your studies is running smoothly. And Milpark is committed to creating an exceptional student experience, one that we'll talk about long after you graduate. So we want you to say, you know, while I was studying at Milpark, I did not have to worry about my books getting there on time. I didn't have to worry about my tickets being lost in the system. I got responses timelessly, and there was always someone at the other end listening to me. So at the same time, we continuously improve our internal processes to ensure that the student service is efficient, consistent, and professional. So I'm just going to touch on student support. So this is one part of the Student Engagement Hub. So this brings all the academic, non-academic administrative support together in one team. What does this mean? It means this is where you go for help. You receive consistent information, your queries are handled promptly and accurately, and the service standards are clear and maintained. So you hear one thing all around, not different versions of one response, but the same response from everybody, because we are trying to help you and everything is centralized for your convenience. Our goal is simple: to make your experience seamless so that you can stay focused on what matters most, and that is your studies and excelling in your studies. So what support can you access in the Student Engagement Hub? So as I mentioned, this is all the non-academic administrative services. So part of what we do is we help with registration, admission support, assistance with your documentation. Let's say you couldn't find your ID document while you were doing your admission and you had to drop off quickly because you had to log off, you had to go home, and now you want to upload your ID document and you just don't know where to do it. will help you uploading a document. You just don't know how to change your cell phone number. You no longer use the number anymore, and you want somebody to help you with doing that. This is where you'll be going. This is where you also go for guidance on institutional processes and requirements. I can't study this year because something happened and I can't continue. Where do I go? How do I cancel my modules? What do I do? What documents do I need? And also, now that I've canceled my modules, I want to come back. What is my next steps? This is where we help you. Updates and communication regarding important milestones. I don't know when my assignment is due. I'm not sure how to log in. I lost my password. Can you please help me? This is all the access and support that you can have in the Student Engagement Hub. As mentioned, at Centralize, the communication is the same from the beginning to the end. We have a clear turnaround time of 48 hours for queries, and we track all your queries. And we can find what's missing. We can assist you where you need your assistance. And this is all to make your academic journey seamless and stress-free. Navigation is also quite tricky. I don't know where to click on Canvas. I don't know where to find my assignment. I hear everybody telling me I need to find my links to the O week. Where do I find them? This is where you can find all the help with your non-academic administrative queries. While academic guidance remains with our lecturers and our academic teams, the Engagement Hub ensures that everything around your studies runs smoothly. What you can expect. So when you reach out to the help desk, you'll send an email, and what you can expect from us is simple: prompt responses, accurate information, clear guidance, professional and supportive communication. So we find out what is right and we'll tell you. We won't I think this is what it could be. I'm not sure. So when you get a response, you are sure that the response is accurate because someone has went and found out from the program manager, is this right? We've gone through the business to find out when are the books being delivered, when is the actual start date. So all that information is accurate and will give you the clear guidance on how to change your password. We won't give you information that is unclear and things that you will not be able to use. Our communication is clear and professional, and we're here to help you and support you through your journey. You are not navigating your studies alone. We are here all the time, and we do ensure that we respond to queries that come through our way. It's for non-academic needs, and they're handled efficiently, professionally, so you can concentrate on achieving the great goals that you've set for yourself and your why. So while you focus on why I'm doing this, will help you ensure that you don't have to stress about my password not working. I cannot access my Canvas. I don't know where to find my study material. All of that is done seamlessly and with the support of the Engagement Hub. I'm going to be handing over to Tamlin, who will take you through how to access the help desk, how to log in, where to click, how to log a case, and how to track the cases that you've logged. Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks, Nikki.
Thanks, Mikle. Just for everybody, I think, Mikle, you were meant to be sharing your screen with a presentation. And I think maybe we just had a technical issue there, but we'll make the presentation available to everybody just with the outline of what Mikle has spoken about. But just to reiterate what Mikle has said, the purpose of the Student Engagement Hub is really to support you in your non-academic specific administrative related queries, or to help you to direct your query to one central point where we will then be able to seek assistance and support for you in a manner where your query can be tracked and traced. So I see that a lot of you have raised in the chat questions about turnaround times on queries and things like that, and I'm going to demonstrate for you now how to use the help desk and how to actually track your cases and see the response times on your cases
or if there's something still pending, or if additional information has been asked for, so that we can resolve your query. But I think important to understand is that Mihle mentioned email. We don't utilize email anymore. So we did implement last year the help desk, the student help desk, and this has been a fantastic resource for us because it's a much more formal way of tracking communication from students outside of an Outlook email. And this is really important to us because we want to, yeah.
I want to
Sorry.
kind of jump in and kind of speak to this point as well, because I saw Monique
Sure, go
was
for it.
asking a similar question. So she was saying, so Milpark's a fully online institution, like why haven't they implemented something like a Microsoft Teams support channel? And I think it's probably worth giving a peek behind the curtain to those of you on today's call who can, so you guys can try and understand the intent behind what we're doing, because I think it'll help you to use it more effectively as well. So the first thing to realize is that Milpark has more than 10,000 students at any given time. So there's an enormous amount of students studying with Milpark at any point. And that means that if there are any kind of bottlenecks in terms of queries, imagine something like this. Imagine this Teams chat on this session was our support channel. And you guys were saying like, help me on this, please. Help me on that, please. You get 10,000 or more queries. Very difficult to kind of follow up and keep tabs on what's been resolved, what hasn't been, what is the query about, how do we get it to the right person in the business who knows what the answer is so they can resolve it. So a lot of those challenges are things we've looked to solve with the help desk. It means that you guys have to make some choices around what you think your problem is, and that helps our support agents get a jump start on kind of trying to figure out the solution for you. So Tamlin's busy opening up something on her side, and Tamlin, I'll hand back to you so you can kind of take us through how students access the help desk and then make choices that can help them get better help faster.
Thanks so much, Mark. Thank you for giving us that context. So I'm just going to quickly share my screen. If someone can just tell me that you can see it.
Yeah, I can see it nicely.
Okay, great. Okay, perfect. So firstly, for returning students, you will know this. For new students, to log into the student portal, you are going to go onto Milpark's website and click on the login button in the top right-hand corner. And this is going to open up the help desk screen. And this is how you access the student portal and the help desk. So when you come in here, you would need to sign in with your student credentials. So this is your My Milpark email address that you would have received when you registered at Milpark. And then you click on next. There may be a verification code that comes to your, it is doing it for me now, and that comes to your cell phone number. So let me just grab my phone quickly and just pop that in. And then we just verify that, and then your page will open. And this is in essence where you can navigate all aspects of your studies, including access onto the course pages. But what I will specifically take you through today is the help desk, as Mike had said. And what is a wonderful aspect of the help desk that we've worked quite hard on implementing is the ability to self-service. So if you come through here and let's say you have a query about your assessments, and you switch on the search function, you can actually access a resource of knowledge articles. So let's say you wanted to apply for a remark of your assessment, for example. If you click on that knowledge resource, it will give you the steps and the information on how to go about doing that, including the step-by-step instructions on where to go on the help desk to submit that request. So there are a lot of knowledge resources available here. However, if you can't find specifically what you are looking for, you can also go in and create a case. So within the case, we've got a catalog of services that are created. I'm actually going to take you back just one step. so we can see the full, the full catalog. So you can see here we've got listed the different types of services. So we have admission and registration, feedback and suggestions, supports and requests, content queries, assessments, finance, and graduation. So what these categories do in essence is it helps us to direct your query to the correct team within Milpark to give an answer as quickly as possible to the question that you are asking. But let's say again that we have an assessment query, and let's say, for example, you needing technical support, and it's around the proctoring tool as an example. There is some self-help information here, as well as information on the support chat widgets. However, if you still feel that this is not sufficient for your specific needs, you can then come in and log a case. And when you click on the case, you'll have the ability to type in a title for your query. So let's say urgent, I can't, or let's say my camera is not working.
And while we're typing here, Tamlin, I think it's worth also kind of trying to explain why this information is so helpful for our staff. So I want to kind of give you a sense of what these choices that you're making as a student do in terms of where your case ends up and how that can help it get resolved faster. So by choosing to log your case as a proctoring and assessment support query, it goes straight to our technical support team who specialize in the proctoring tool and the assessment process. So they're going to get this case and they're going to be most equipped to answer your questions related to this. So making the right selection really helps ensure that your case gets the right person. Sometimes you won't be certain about what exactly your problem is and where it fits into this catalog of services. And that's okay. You can always log a general query if you're uncertain. And then the team who receives those cases will help determine like where it goes next. But by knowing what your problem is, you ensure you get to the right team member faster.
Awesome. Thanks, Mark. So once you click submit on the case, what it will do is it will create a case number. And this is also quite important for our team. When we are following up on your particular issue in the system, we can then track it straight back to you and your profile. We also have SLAs linked to the cases in terms of resolution time, so that we ensure we get a speedy response on your particular issue. What's also great here is that you can come and have a look at which of your cases are open, which of your cases, for example, have been closed, and what the resolution was for your different cases that you have. And then let's say you didn't perhaps click submit on your case because you're still putting it together. There is also drafts that will keep a record of what you have typed. I think very, very important as a place for you to track and see the outcome of your cases. You can also access your cases by coming to the help desk menu at the top here, clicking on your My Cases, and then that will open that. Or if you want to go back to the knowledge base, you can click there and then continue to search for information that you would like to self-help. Or again, you can log a case if you need to. Yeah, so that is in essence. I just wanted to also indicate for everybody that is asking questions about when does my course start, there is a tab in the menu items here called critical dates. So typically if you click on critical dates and you are registered for an upcoming course, it will indicate the dates here for you, and you'll be able to see when exactly your course opens. So you can get that information from this tab here. Okay. And Micah, I don't know if you want to color in anything that I've said there.
Yeah, I think the one thing I want to add, because I think a lot of you guys are obviously experiencing like a lot of anxiety around making sure that the barriers you have to getting going with your studies are resolved as quickly as possible so that you can actually get down to learning. And I think that's a really valid concern. Like, we want to make sure that you don't have those barriers too. There are limitations to how quickly we can work, but that's not limited by our commitment to supporting you. It's more just how many people we have available given a busy time of year. And my sense is that sooner rather than later, you will get resolution to your queries. I know it's frustrating to have to wait, but we want to make sure we give you the right information so that you're not sent down the wrong path. But there are times where that's not going to be up to scratch, where we drop the ball, where we get something wrong, where we take too long to get a resolution to you. And after every help desk case is resolved, you'll get an email prompting you to give us feedback. Just a simple like thumbs up, thumbs down, smiley face, sad face. And I want to just emphasize how important that feedback is for us. Our agents focus on that feedback to know whether they're doing a good enough job or not. And our managers look at that feedback to know whether the agents are on track or not. So often it's something that's only really used when you're not experiencing good service. And that's really important for us to keep using it in those instances. But I'd also encourage you to give us positive feedback when it's going well. It helps us identify the best performers in our teams, make sure we can share their example of their work with their colleagues so that everyone's performance can improve. So hopefully it's not too onerous or time consuming for you guys to share that feedback. But when you do feel like you're not getting the support that we've committed to give you, then we want you to let you know. So we don't want you to stop saying, hey, this isn't good enough. We want you to let us know we want to learn. Like, we're trying to get better and better at how we help you in this context. We're making decisions that we think are going to be in the best interests of all of you as a group. And we're committed to getting it right, even if it isn't right all the time right now.
Thanks, Mike. And I think just just to also indicate the type of support that we have in the back end. So there's two students, Beatrice and Tiffany, on the call that's raised in the chat challenges with regards to accessing the course page. So we can see the full history of the cases that you guys have logged. We've actually escalated because there is a challenge with your specific instances, and we're busy investigating. So in those cases, please feel free to ask for feedback so that we can ensure that you're kept in the loop. But I just wanted to mention for those two specific students, I will get a resolution from the team for you on that as soon as possible. We will provide you with further feedback before the end of today. So thank you for raising that with us.
I think, yeah, guys, my hope is that you feel comfortable not getting this right as well. Like, we don't expect you to understand the help desk perfectly. The main thing is to start talking to us through that tool, and we can help you kind of figure it out and learn. If you've not chosen the right service to log a case with, that's all right. Our team will reassign it and reallocate it to make sure it gets the right person. Take a bit of time to look through it, start to use it, and my hope is that it'll serve you well. There are some specific questions here that we probably won't have time to get through, but I know there was a student in the chat who asked if you can reopen a closed chat. And there is a window of time where you can do that. I think it's up to 7 days after the chat has been, the case has been closed. And then after that, you'll need to start a new case to follow up on the old one. So there, what you do is you'd copy the case number from your previous query and just include that either in the title or message of your case so that our team can connect it to your previous cases. And when our team's working on any case on the help desk related to you, they always know what other queries you've asked. So they've also got that context, which can help us ensure that we're giving you the right information and the right feedback. Yeah, so my hope is that your experience with this tool improves over time. And I realize we're coming to the end of the session now. So I guess the next thing is for you guys to kind of get stuck in. Start using the tools that you've been shown today. I'd encourage you to kind of check out October Health, see how you can work that into your approach to your studies. As Terry emphasized, getting that stuff right up front can really help once you get down to the nitty-gritty of your studies. And then as you hit barriers, reach out to us through the help desk, and our engagement hub will be standing by to help you. And then there's 2 more sessions coming this week. So a lot of you are probably a little bit worried or maybe excited about your upcoming assessments. There's a tests and assessment session that's tomorrow at 1 o'clock. Make sure you register for that and join that to kind of get more specific information about your tests and assessments. And then on Friday, as I said at the start, there's an opportunity to meet the schools, meet some of our academic staff, understand how the schools offer different programs and what might fit into your career path or to your learning journey. So I hope you enjoy those sessions and get the most out of the rest of this week, and good luck for your studies. Thanks, everyone.